Good morning. It's time for Morning Oasis. I am today trying to attend from my phone instead of my computer. Let's see if this makes this week any better. I'm going to go ahead and share to the group. All right. So I haven't really done live from my phone, so we'll see how well I can see people coming in. I'm going to go ahead and get my cards out. Let's see. So what kind of announcements do I have? We have, let's see, Wednesday nights is Energy Circle and Intuitive Exchange. We had one last night. I was pretty bad about reminding anybody. I'm not so good about that. Hi, Squirrel. Thanks for reminding me. Got to search for that nut all day long, right? Anyway, so yes, I did not remind anybody about that. And then we have, what else do we have going on? Life Mastery is continuing. We have step 2 starting not this coming week, but the following week. If you haven't enrolled in Life Mastery and you'd like to join us, it's not too late. You still can. We are studying, let's see, last month, this whole month of April, we've been focusing on healing our inner relationship with ourselves, healing our relationship with that voice with ourselves. And we are right now in coming out of and still in the energy of that Scorpio moon. Right? So the Scorpio moon being all about really going into the depths of your own emotions and your perceptions, your interpretations, how you feel about things, how you view people. And it's very much the inside game, what we're doing in here. And a lot of us have had to face some dynamics in our lives that we're ready to change and shift. We've had to focus more on how we want to show up rather than how we are seen. We're starting to understand, and those dynamics and relationships that are limiting are really revealing themselves, whether they want to or not. Right now, it's time for all of those people who have, the frenemies, those people who have pretended to be our friends, pretended to be supportive, pretended because really they're just like, I don't get why you get to be special. I don't get why you think you're so special. I don't get why everybody else thinks you're so special, right? And they have it in the background, inside. What they're really saying is, why am I not seen the way you're seen? And as soon as we start to get into that realm, we're abandoning ourselves. We're really abandoning ourselves. And we are saying to ourselves, I'm not worthy of these people being, witnessing, seeing, feeling, connecting with me. And that hurts our soul. And when we hurt our own soul with those kind of beliefs and expectations, man, it's just, that's where the toxicity comes from. It's not from those other people. So we want to make sure that when we have any of that going on, whether it's happening externally, people doing it to us, or it's happening internally, we're doing it to somebody. I mean, we all do things. Nobody's perfect. I've been that way at points. I've felt that way. It's a part of our journey of coming into peace with ourselves, a love with ourselves, an alignment with ourselves. We do so by trying on these different skins of others and these different behaviors and ways. We try on these inspirations that we get from them until we learn to listen to that inner inspiration. So that's what we've been working on in Life Mastery this month. And, you can join the program at any point. Just drop on in, and then you can loop around and catch the beginning steps when you come back through, because you get to do the introduction at any point. So anyway, that's Life Mastery. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling for collective and get a collective read going. And then I'd love for you guys, while I'm pulling, whoever's in here, you can feel free to request a card pull or ask a question. I'm here until 10. No, I'm here till 11 because I start at 10. Tracking time. tracking time. So I made an offer on my Facebook page, by the way, as I'm still shuffling because I have not gotten the cue yet that the cards are clear and ready. I made a request on my personal Jessie Star Facebook page. I would love for people to support me in telling me how you schedule your day. How do you schedule your life? Do you use alarms? Do you use a day planner? Do you use Google Calendar? And what are you frustrated about with that? There's a posting in my page, and you can, if you want to find it, or you can just DM me. I have some questions about schedules, and I am offering anybody who contacts me in DM to talk about their schedules a free card reading, at least a 1 to 3 card reading. And if you really inspire me, I might give you a Wheel of Ganesh reading. We'll see. I rarely do an open invite for people to DM me. But as long as you put schedule and I see the request for DM about schedules, I will respond to you. And let's see if we can, I want to build a better scheduler for creative people with reminders and all kinds of things. So I'm doing some research right now and I want to pick your brains. So if you're comfortable, looks like the cards are ready. If you're comfortable with me picking your brain, please DM me. I'm curious. Good morning, Scott. I will put you down for a pull. Let me pull out my Post-it notes so I can track. Yeah, I have been struggling with my own scheduling system for a while. So I'm definitely interested in figuring out what other people have going on for their schedulers. Remember, if you're watching, feel free to request a card pull. Nick, I'd be happy to pull for you. Okay. And one of the things that I've been also noticing about this, well, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and pull 3 cards for us, and then I'll show you what come up. So right now, it's the inverted magician. Right now, we're going through this period where we are having to look at how we alchemize in our life. How do we approach what is around us? What are the materials? What are the components? The magician, he's the first stage of learning and development. I love these cards. By the way, I'm reading from Stephanie Mui Punla, I believe, or I'm horrible with names, but it's the Shadowscapes Tarot, which is my favorite tarot. Oh, I'd be happy to pull for you, Jean. So the magician is all about, he's the first step that the fool takes when he steps out of the cycle of his own feelings of, I don't know, his own state of unknowingness, the fool entering into the wheel. And so the magician's that first step. And the magician is really about alchemizing. What is this? What is that? What happens if I do something with this? What happens if I do something with that? Oh my God. What happens if I put these things together? And what happens if I put them under force and pressure? We have to get really curious. So that's what the magician is all about. And for us today, the magician was inverted. So for me, when an inverted card shows up, an inversion like this tells me I'm inverted in some way, in the way I'm looking at my own alchemization, which has definitely been going on because I'm in the process of really transitioning my whole business and practice and opening something just absolutely amazing. And I'm super excited about it, but I'm not going to talk about that. So right now I have to be alchemizing all of the content, all of the product I've been building over the last at least 6 years as I've been teaching Life Mastery, teaching Let It Flow, building new programs like A to Z, your experiential guide to energy, running retreats, all of this session work, building flow state healing protocol, all of that work. I have to alchemize it. And it feels a little overwhelming, but what's happening is, as I'm doing this, as I'm digesting and going back through, I'm actually like finding the hiccups, the issues, the challenges, and I'm distilling my knowledge even more to this essence. I'm transmuting it into something that's simple, that's fun, that's engaging. So we are at a crossroads on something. We have a decision or a choice to make, and this is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is exploring that aspect of the High Priestess, the aspect of having a knowing, I have this knowing. And the high priestess usually comes in, she's already done the lessons of the alchemist, right? She's already done the magician's lessons, and she's like, let me tell you, this is where it's at. She has that understanding. And the swords is our mind. And so the two of swords is the mind, the mental component of the high priestess, and how we have to make choices and decisions. The moment we step forward and offer our opinion, our view, our perspective, our intuition, or whatever, the moment we step forward offering this, we have to decide, what are we saying? What are we doing? What are we offering? And so it's really important for us to make these choices right now so that we can find a more clear path. For me, I'm incredibly artistic and I'm incredibly creative. I don't even want to get into listing all the hobbies, arts, crafts, practices, things that I've done in my life and learned, and what I'm doing now. But I now have to focus myself, not necessarily on an art form or a project type, but I have to bring all of the vastness of my experience and focus it in and find what is the essence that I want to clean up my message and be clear about what I'm doing, right? So that's the Two of Swords card. What is finding that clarity? So making clear choices says, not I reject or I dislike or I hate, but saying I shift my focus to this choice. I've had something multiply. Now I need to decide. When we plant our seeds in the garden, we plant 3 to 6 seeds. And then we have to pick which plant is doing the best, because not all seeds will develop, and we can't allow all of them to grow into mature plants. There's not enough room for them, right? So, and finally, we have the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands is the completion of the process of following one's passion all the way through the journey and what grows and develops and builds as a result of that passion. So our Wands journey is that pursuit that we are inspired to do. It's about transmutation, about taking an energy and being able to apply a force to it, heat, and then it transmutes. The wands are also about how do we use something in all these different ways. With the sword energy, the swords are crafted and honed. The swords are made and forged and tempered and hammered and folded and sharpened. They go through this process in order to become what they are, and their only job is to cut through things. It's to divide, to separate one from another. That's all their real job is. But a wand can be many things. A staff, a tool, a weapon, a support, a prop, a lever. It can be so many tools, so many different things. So the wand journey is really about taking all these different skill sets and applying them in your passion, putting those pieces together. And the 10 is about coming to the end of that journey. And she's built this beautiful, amazing city, right? She's got all these pieces, all these components. The world is now functioning by itself, what she has built. So the choice becomes, when we have the 10 of Wands, do we keep the world just like it is? Or do we take that world and set it down and let another world come into play? Let something else come into play. So I just got this kind of quick ping, really strong feeling that I need to add a couple more cards for a little bit more clarity on the general read. And then Scott, Nick, and Jean, I will be happy to read for you. And of course, anyone else who'd like to request, we have put a pretty good chunk of time. Okay, so yes. So what is at the root right now, under the magician, as he's trying to shift his alchemization and look for where's the issues, we have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is really about community. It's all about coming into a strong and solid community where you feel supported, where you feel good about holding that vessel of emotion and connection and energy. The emotions are nourishing to you. So the Three of Cups is a very strong, strong energy in creating a community around you that is of value to you. And that's probably why today I felt like I had to kind of give a warning out that I'm going to be cleaning out my friends list. Not because I'm trying to throw people away or get rid of people or anything like that. Just to keep my list a little bit more focused and clear and focused on where I am and what I'm working towards and the people that are contributing through their wall, through their postings. I want that to be nourishing to me too, because right now I don't follow a lot of people. I mostly follow pages. I tend to feel like we post a lot of stuff that's not loving or compassionate or supportive. And it doesn't mean that that's not confrontational. Confronting something that is not working is compassion. It is supportive. It is being loving. It's more about being clear and focused, that Two of Swords energy and that Three of Cups, right? Clarifying. And here we go. At the top of it all is to come to a comfort with death. So this is inverted for us. So we're not comfortable right now with allowing certain things to die. I don't ever want anyone to feel hurt or rejected or feel cast out. But there are some times that I block people, not because I'm trying to be those things to them, but because I'm trying to give us room, trying to give each of us, all of us, space. I want them to be able to feel like they can post whatever they want, and it has nothing to do with me. And that's true. That's true. And it doesn't have anything to do with me. So if you have people in your Facebook and your communities that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe what they're posting. Don't keep them in your list. If you wouldn't have them in your real life, why would you keep them in your Facebook life? And I say that with close to 5,000 people in my Facebook list. So I definitely need to get some cleaning house. I mean, oh my gosh. And if we do that, when we clean down and pare down and allow things that aren't working to actually die, our energy becomes stronger, more potent. What we have to offer to our community becomes of value and potency. And we can actually build on those foundations if we give ourselves the chance to make a choice about that. So begin looking differently at what's going on in your life and alchemize these things. Allow yourself to be real about what it is that they're offering, what it is that they're bringing, where it is that they're going, and is that where you want to go? Do you want to get on that train? You know, that's the question. Okay, so let's see, Scott. I'm just going to give a quick little shuffle of the cards and tune into you, Scott. Good energy today. Feels like some hard stuff's going on for you, Scott. Some big choices going on for you. So let's see what the cards say for you. So you got the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is about happy union. Ah, that divine marriage, that wonderful coming together with somebody else where you both are working together, holding emotion, holding love. Now, personally, I try to keep my focus with tarot on immediate, personal, and local. I try to keep my focus immediate, personal, and local in everything. I can't speak for someone else. But with this Ten of Cups cards, often when it's read by readers, it is talking about a happy marriage. It looks like you're going to have if there's trouble going on in the relationship, looks like it's going to work out fine. Looks like you guys are a good union and couple. Now, how do I mean when I say I like to keep it immediate, personal, and local? To me, when I see this card, I feel like this is telling me I'm coming into grace and connection with my divine masculine within me. The marriage within me of my masculine and feminine is whole. Now, I'm single right now. I'm loving being single. I have no desire to be coupled right now at all. Too much on my plate, too much in my life, too many projects. My womb is full of my own creations right now. So for me, that may be, that's why I look at it this way, because I don't want to think in terms of this person outside of me completing me. I don't think that's true. I was married for 17 years. I know that's not entirely true. And it is a coming together, a union of two complete people that creates abundance and happiness and joy. So when I get this card, I feel like, ooh, yes, I'm coming into that with myself. I'm coming into that space. And if I come into it with myself, I have someone whole to present to someone else coming into it with their whole self. So it looks like to me, what I'm getting a sense of, and this isn't to say anything about a relationship if you are in one, I don't even want to tune in that much to find out. But what I do want to share is that this is about coming into that balance with your own feminine. And when we are coming into balance with ourselves, we need someone on the outside to reflect with, because they're showing us what we can't see. Like, I cannot find this chin hair if I'm not looking in the mirror. I can't see it. It's the biggest pain in the butt. I need the mirror to be able to like get at those angles and find those things, right? And so it's not ever to say that pairing and marriage and coupling isn't a valuable and critical part of our journey as a soul to evolve. That is showing us where we've externalized aspects of ourselves. And as a woman, I externalized so much of the responsibility of me feeling loved and cared for and held onto the masculines in my life. And as I've integrated loving and caring for myself and my own practice and my own business and building myself, I have released that pressure externally. And so even the men I attract now are very different men. They tend to be like, hey, you're amazing. But I'm kind of like in my own thing right now. I'm not interested. Sorry. And I'm all like, me either, So we are coming together in these short unions, pairing, witnessing, having big impact, and then separating away, because my goal right now is this internal focus. So I'm hearing that for you. I hope that's not too confusing, and I hope that supports you, Scott. Nick, let's see. I'm just going to tune in for a second, see if I need to shuffle. No. So I'm just going to cut for you. So Nick, we got for you the 10 of Wands. This is the second 10 of Wands appearance today. Great. I'm so glad that was supportive. This is the second 10 of Wands in coming in today. So this energy is very strong for you in particular. The 10 of Wands being, take a look at what you've been building in your life. Take a look at what you've developed and grown and fostered and cultivated over time. It's big. It's heavy. It's kind of a burden. Like, how much of a burden is it for you? Or is it a pleasure for you? Do you feel strong and centered? Okay, Karen, I'd love to pull for you. And what do you say in the... Mahala? Mahala. I'm sorry. My pigeon is not fluid. Fluent. So the 10 of Wands for you, Nick, is very much about looking at what you've built and developed around you, acts of passion, creation, taking and alchemizing. And are you done with it? Are you ready to let it stand on its own? Or are you needing to wrap up some things so you can close up that pocket? Can it become its own standalone, autonomous thing? Thanks, Karen. So the 10 of Wands is asking, like for me, for myself, for instance, I've been teaching this program, Life Mastery, for the last 6 years now, 5.5, 6 years. And as I've been building and shifting it, I've been modifying it. I've been essentially trying to get that program into a place where people can take it as a self-study class, because my goal is to hand it out there and people can then access it as they need. And it becomes something that's accessible and of a value to everyone and affordable for people. Because right now the sacred knowledge is being held by people who are getting these licensings and these modality certifications that don't even actually give them access to the divine within themselves. It's putting it outside of themselves. And so I kind of want to do away with that. I think that that system is dying, and I think it's not working, and I think that we have to make changes and shifts in that. So that's what comes to mind for me. Like I want to get my life mastery to that focused and independent point where I can be like, here it is. And now I can work on another project because I want to work on something new. I have a desire to be working on something new. I want to be recording my demo album and be building my professional music career. I want to be moving into building, more tools and cool, accessible features and functions and things like that. Not so much into, can you connect to your whoever guides? Well, they're in you. Those guides are aspects of you. They're fragments of you that you've externalized and given the power to. So I want people to be powered and keyed inside. So is there something like that for you? Is there some project you've been working on that it's time to start putting all the pieces together, those finishing touches, so it can become its own finalized autonomous thing? Okay, I hope that helps and is supportive and answers your questions. And please let me know if it brought up an issue rather than supported. Jean, you're next. I am hearing to go ahead and shuffle the cards. I see that you're watching. Thanks for coming. I used to know a Kelly Saunders who was a river guide from, where is he from? Terrebonne, Oregon, I think. All right, let's see. Jean. So Jean, for you, I got the Five of Pentacles. I just wanted to check and make sure it wasn't inverted. So the Five of Pentacles, oftentimes when this card comes up, readers will read it as something sorrowful, or you've been kicked out, you've been cast out, oh, woe is me, I'm not allowed into the church. Like, God, I'd help build that church. Like, how dare you kick me out? This is the project I built, right? This is this feeling, this sense of being exiled, being cast off, being not wanted, not desired. So one of the things for me, when this card comes up, as I said before, I like to keep it immediate, personal, and local, meaning I like to keep it focused right here. So I get really attached. I'm like, oh my gosh, I built this and it's amazing. And I want to keep doing it and I want to keep playing with it. And I love the people, but I have a desire to move on and do something else. Do I give myself permission to do that? Do I actually do it? Do I allow myself to put down what I have built, this project? Or do I compromise myself and stay invested in something that's actually not serving me really anymore other than filling my time? So when I see this card, I think of, I needed the help. They had to throw me out so I would move on. Because the Five energy is really about that middle point. You're at the middle and you've got to decide, are you going to continue that journey in that way, or are you going to make changes? You're halfway down the road right now, and are you really going to endure? Do you want to be a church goer, or are you a church builder? So when I see this card come up, for me, I recognize I abandoned my own inspiration somewhere. And so this community, it's no longer in resonance for me. And they did me the service of removing me because I was too committed to the wrong thing. I was externally committed to that environment, to those people, to what they were feeling. I was not internally committed to serving as I have come to serve, to building as I have come to build. I've been wanting to do the project I just shifted into for years. But I didn't think I could, and I didn't give myself permission, and now everything is aligning. and dreams are being made because I let go of this community. I let go of it and I decided, all done. I'm all done playing that game with them. I'm also apparently all done wearing that earbud. So let me get that back up there. Not that I need to hear myself, but just to have the mic in the right place. So, Jean, it's really about when you find yourself feeling not involved, not included, not connected, take a second to pause and ask yourself, is there some other place, inspiration, focus that my passion is asking me to look for? Is there some other business opportunity? Can I not look at it as, oh, I've lost this business? Can I look at it instead as, I've stepped out of an obligation and now I'm free to go and create again. They gave me permission. They gave me permission. Now can I give me permission? That's what I feel whenever I see the Five of Pentacles. So it's funny. People usually go, oh, I'm all like, yes, do it. I can run. Get out. Like, get out. Thank God they kicked you out. Okay, let's see. Karen, let me tune in. Oh, Karen, oh, you've been shifting. Hawaii feels nice. Dang. Yeah, that's lovely. I'm so envious of all of your pictures. Karen, oh, I want to come play on the beach. And I'm so happy for you. Okay, let's see, Karen. Thank you, Jean. I'm glad that helped, and I really hope it supports you in moving forward from whatever that disappointment was. Okay, Karen, it looks like it's time for you to start focusing on the next project to build, right? So we just had the Five of Pentacles telling us to step out, right? I bet. So let's look at this Three of Pentacles for a moment. The Three of Pentacles is all about building something that's so big, you need someone else to help you with it. You can't reach that goal by yourself. You have to ask for help. You have to ask for somebody to hold you up. You have to take into account, what am I asking to be lifted? What am I asking to be done? So for me, what this brings to mind, because that's how I roll, I just share with you what my personal stories and experiences are so that you can apply it. And I know, Karen, you know that as you're one of my earlier students and been with me on a long road and taught me so much on this journey. It's time, I think, for you to start. Thank you, Jean. It's time for you to start building. You know, you've got a lot to offer and you've got a lot of connections now and you've got a lot of awareness. So this Three of Pentacles is saying, look around you for the partnerships that you feel are strong enough to be able to hold and support you so that you can build together. So the story that this makes me think of is twofold, because my work is twofold. I have one side of me that's doing all of my consciousness work, doing all of that integrative consciousness expansion, healing work. And then I have this whole other side of me that's making music and that is so passionate about that. I have to split every day because I want to work on my music and I want to work on my work. Helping and supporting people and being of service, it fuels my life. So these two things I'm constantly balancing. And I had to recognize, if I really want to take my work to that next step, I need help. I hate marketing. I hate it. I hate putting things out there. I'm just like, oh, people will show up if they want to. They'll find it. And so if I'm not putting anything out there to find, well then, and I can't do it myself. I needed a tech manager to help support me with putting all the technology pieces together because I've been reinventing the wheel and doing it by myself for so long, building things that now are commonplace. I was teaching in Zoom Zoom 6 years ago. I was doing Facebook Live and doing these readings and things as soon as Facebook started doing live. So this is like I've been on those cutting edges, but I've never trusted someone else to help me, really. So I had to hire somebody to help and help me get all of that stuff integrated so that I don't have to spend so much time just doing all the pieces. And I just had somebody contact me and want to collaborate musically with me, asked to hear my music and was like, oh my gosh, I feel inspired. I want to work with you on this. I see a lot of potential here of ways we can orchestrate it. And just last night I was talking to my son and my friend, my son making the most amazing freaking music. I'm blown away. And he's orchestrating it out with just all of the sound. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. I know how to write lyrics. I can kind of come up with progressions and some unique sounds, but I don't know how to orchestrate. And so what shows up? Someone who's like, hey, I'm super good at orchestrating and I'd like to work with you. What can I listen to some of your stuff? And here's some of mine. Yes. Sharing in the work. So find somebody who you can share in your work with like that. It'll be very powerful connection force. So that I hope supports you, Karen, in what you're working on right now. I'm not sure if you've run into somebody along those lines recently, but I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see what you build and grow. You always blow my mind. Let's see. Karen says, yes, so needed to get into this alignment before now. Did the work here is where I'm moving into the next steps. And I agree. Yes, and Mahala. I'm so glad. Yes, awesome. Okay, so does anybody else want a card pull? To me, it looks like there's only a few people in, so I don't want to keep everybody if we're all done. Otherwise, let's see. If anyone else would like a card pull, feel free to request. Let me think. Oh, yes, I will no longer be participating in the MeWe functions or any other online functions or fairs by any other groups. I will be doing collaborative exchanges and I will be doing my energy circle. So if you want to be able to interface or work with me moving forward, look for me on Wednesday nights. I will be doing the energy circle. You can go to my website, www.healingpathwalkers.com, and go to energy circle. And it's an energy circle and intuitive exchange. So what that means is we practice using our own focus and energetic awareness, and we harmonize with each other. So whatever your gift or your tool or your practice is, okay, Tracy, I'd be happy to pull for you. We will be practicing our energetic service and practicing what we read intuitively. So even if you're not an energy worker, this is a practice and everybody is practicing. I've been working as an energy worker and healer for 10 years now, almost 10 years. This fall will be 10 years. And I have expanded my practice greatly to all sorts of different realms because of doing energy circles, getting exposure to different styles, techniques, practices, gifts, and as well as supported my own healing and growth journey. We can't find the chin hair without the mirror. So this circle is a really beautiful, powerful mirror for people like us who are focused on their consciousness awakening and awareness to themselves and embodying their divinity and finding ways to serve. So Energy Circle is every Wednesday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time, and it costs $11 to join me. And you will not only be able to practice your gifts, but you get to share and receive energy work from others. And it is powerful. If you have not experienced energy work in the past, I strongly recommend that you come and check us out. So yes, moving forward, you will not be able to find me at any more fairs, online fairs, or online panels, or any of those things at all, I will only be doing this energy circle Wednesday nights, and you can find it at healingpathwalkers.com. You can pay and you can get immediately from me. You'll get a link to join, and then you can come in every Wednesday night, make that your class, make that your practice, make that your church if you choose, however you want to view it. And so, yeah, Wednesday nights, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific time is when you can find me there. And it's wide open. I've been running energy circles out of my home for the last 4 years now, I believe, and online for the last 6 years on and off. So I know how to hold the space, and we can work remotely, and it's really quite powerful. Can somebody give me a time check? Because I can't see time with my phone up. And Tracy, I'm going to go ahead and pull for you. And I'm going to tune into you. And if anyone else would like a card pull, if we have time, I can. Oh, just tuning into you, Tracy. So Tracy, immediately what I'm getting as I tune into you, thank you, perfect. As soon as I tune into you, I'm getting a lot of tightness in the back of my Well of Dreams chakra, right at the base of my skull and my neck, and just to the right, which tells me, thank you, Karen, you were an amazing component in our energy circles at the house, and I hope you have time and availability to join us sometimes online. So yes, that pain in the back of the head. So to me, it's that feminine side. It's about receiving and holding the inspirations that come to you. That's what I'm feeling just immediately. That just I have to speak to, because it's hurting, it's aching. I'm also noticing my shoulders are starting to ache a little bit as I tune more deeply in. And so that's really about how we're holding these burdens. How are we supporting ourselves while we're going through whatever it is that we're going through? Have we created an environment around us that can support and hold us, or are we feeling overwhelmed by the support and help we have to offer? Okay, so I'm going to just pull a card for you. So you got the Fool. Now the Fool, whenever the Fool comes up, this energy is my favorite. I absolutely love the Fool. The Fool energy is well, first of all, it's the 0 card in the major arcana. So it's not actually even in the wheel of experience yet. This is the outside of the 21 cards of the wheel of lessons and archetypes as we travel through our journey and explore ourselves. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. Excuse me. So the Fool, whenever the Fool comes up, it's asking you to stop applying what you know to be true, because you're out of context. The situation has changed, and you're still bringing to it an old story, an old lesson, an old memory. The Fool doesn't know if she steps forward, if she'll fall or not, because she doesn't know yet whether gravity even exists. She's not the magician. She's not learning what all of the things are. She's just experiencing, and she's trusting, and she's flowing. I was talking with someone last night about the leap of faith and how it's really this bridging of a gap between a knowing and an unknowing place. And I was saying it's like and as we bridge that gap, he was referencing how we keep having to go back and finding ourselves brought back into something old and be challenged again to go over that leap of faith again. And I said it's kind of like if we have these days and points in time in our calendar, our pages of experience and references that we are tracking of when this happened and when that happened and when that will, we are dissipating ourselves through these tangential points of time. But as we do so, we jump one to the next, one to the next, one to the next, and we create this binding that holds a book of our life together, a learning experience. And that's what the wheel is really about. The wheel is, there's this book. Let me tell you, I got dumped in there. I had no freaking idea what's going on. I had no choice but to play the Fool. And then I started kind of figuring shit out, and I became the magician. And then I started applying things, and I started showing people how things work. Right? That's our journey. And our experience is this spiral. And where we are at in that experience, we're looping through and around. But the Fool says, take this book and return it to the bookshelf. Like, can you put it back in the God shelf so God can learn from it? I mean, you put your notes in there, you put all your reference points in there, you collected all your data. Here, it's done. 2020 is done. Can you close the book on it and can you return it to the Akashic so that it can be digested and learned from? Oh, by the way, can you close the appointments that you open in there? And can you pull back yourself from those places? And can you come to the here and the now? Because you actually don't know what's going on. You knew what was going on. And so now it's time to what will be coming. You don't know yet. But if you keep writing it based on what 2020 brought, well, sorry, you're going to repeat. And so if you don't want to be repeating, then you've got to be willing to be the Fool and not know what's going on. Just not have any idea. You have to be willing, because then if you don't know what's going on, you are more observant of the now. You're feeling it. What's going on? What am I feeling? To a place where we actually start opening new doors, opening new expanses, opening ourselves into these places that we couldn't have imagined or dreamed of. So, let go. Be the Fool. Be foolish. Be silly. Don't worry about being off key or out of pitch. It's okay. Sometimes that discord creates amazing resolve. So allow yourself to do that. I hope that's supportive, Tracy, and I hope that helps you. So I'm guessing we're somewhere around 10:40 right now. So I have some more time if anyone else would like a card pull or have any questions. And otherwise, let's see, I was talking about the energy circle, which is going on. Yes. So starting next month is my A to Z energy guide to your experiential guide to energy. That is a new program I built last year. This is an energetic training program. So this is not like Life Mastery has an energy training component to it. We definitely learn about your energetic matrix and your chakra system and your divine blueprint and how that energy moves through you and how to work with the primary rays. We learn about all of those things, how to focus your light of awareness into a potency so that you can impact change more gracefully, energetically, instead of having to physiologically try to shift things. So all of that's present. What we have on the other side of all of that is the energy behind it. So how do we experience, how do we feel, how do we differentiate energy? How do we understand the basic source frequency versus these attuning frequencies versus angelic consciousness frequencies? How do we feel these things? How do I discern? We can go to a book and look up what a crystal stone does or says or feels like. Or we can go to a stone and feel it and connect with it. Because every book that you read is going to be through the lens of that practitioner, the lens of that reader, that channeler, that author. So we want to start developing our own lens. And that's a very powerful tool. So for people who are just wanting to focus on that, that's what the A to Z class is for. So that starts next month. If you're interested, you can go to the website, healingpathwalkers.com, and look it up, look at the program a little bit, see if that feels like it resonates with you, and then you can contact me and we can schedule a free conversation to talk about it. And if you are interested in any life mastery programs, any of the A to Z programs, or readings, or scheduling with me, working with me for private training, you can have everyone gets a free 30-minute consultation to talk with me and orient into the programs and see if we're a good fit, see if I can support you. So please feel free to contact me through the website. Otherwise, since nobody else is requesting, and those are all of my announcements, and it feels like we can close this container up and say that was some really yummy soup that we made today talking about this Scorpio moon. And shift it on out. Thanks, everybody. Mwah. Love you. Have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope to see you at next week's Energy Circle and Intuitive Exchange on Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's only $11. I mean, you can't even get an energy work session for that cheap. You're welcome, Tracy. Love to all of you guys. Mwah. See you soon.